And 3 weeks ago, Kerr returned to the country with a huge smile on his face. This after being appointed as Marumo Gallants' head coach 2 years after leaving the club. Earlier this week, however, he shocked the football fraternity by announcing his abrupt exit from the club. The Nedbank Cup winning coach now joins us live in studio to unpack exactly what happened in the events leading to his departure from Gallants. Thank you so much for joining us, Coach Dylan. I know it's been a busy couple of days, but I do appreciate you making time for us here on the AM Report. And we heard the news 3 weeks ago. You're making a return to Gallants. There'd be football back in Bloemfontein. There was an air of excitement, and you decided to take up the job. What is it that drew you to the opportunity and made you think, well, I want to return to the club for a third time?
Well, I've got, great respect for the chairman or the president, as he's known now at Marumo. And I got offered the opportunity. We've been discussing, his possibility of buying Swallows and taking over the franchise. And then when he was going to move to Bloemfontein, I thought it was an exciting challenge and an exciting project to be involved in because, Bloemfontein hasn't had a PSL team in the league for a long, long time. And I was excited by it, and so within 3 days of having a conversation with the president, I arrived in South Africa.
And of course, arriving in South Africa, coming back to a club that's not the same as what you left it. Obviously, now you had to have, the Swallows factor in, some players being inherited. What are some of the challenges that you would say you were faced with then upon your return to the club?
It's just that the dynamics change because it's no longer Marumo Gallants. It's, Marumo Gallants with, the contracted players of Swallows. And obviously there's the factors behind that as well from the technical staff and all the backroom team, at Swallows as well. So it's a massive job for the chairman. It's a massive risk he's taken, and my job, when I came here, the chairman, wanted to build a legacy. The chairman's so enthusiastic about the game. He wants to be involved in football. He wants to be involved in the PSL. When Marumo Gallants got relegated, it hurt not just myself, but it hurt the chairman. And Swallows, we know, have always been in difficulty with salaries of players and players going on strike. So, the chairman made an offer, bought the club, and the dynamics of the club is so big now because they're moving to Bloemfontein. And the difficulty is having the right squad, having the right people around you, and unfortunately, the people around me weren't the people that I wanted. And as a technical team, the head coach is in charge. The head coach is the boss. I only talk to the chairman. I'm responsible to the chairman, but the technical team is responsible to me. But I didn't get that at all.
So why do you think that was the case? Why is it that you were not allowed to select your own technical team, and perhaps you felt a bit hamstrung then as a result?
Listen, I've never had my own technical team. Everywhere I've been, I've always come into the squad, and the technical team have been there. And Paul Maleka was my assistant in 2020 when we, along with David Metabula, we won the Nedbank Cup and also saved the status for the then TTM. And when I came back, and Paul was still at the club, and I was delighted, But 2 weeks ago, the chairman decided that he needed to freshen up the technical team, which again was against what I believe in. My integrity in football means the world to me, And in hindsight, when Paul was told that he was going to go to Laruma, I should have walked away then, but. Like I said, I love my job. I love the football. I love South African football. I want it to grow. I want the players to grow. But unfortunately, it's not going to be. So
there's a number of issues that I think perhaps we need to zone in on here. And you're talking about perhaps he should have left when Paul Maleka left. What were the reasons for his departure, and why is it that at that stage then, if you felt that was the right decision for you to take, you didn't take that decision?
No, the chairman made the decision. He said he wasn't happy with with his technical team that obviously had struggled in the NFD, and he wanted to bring probably new people in to freshen up the technical area.
Was there any consultation with you before this decision was taken in terms of changing the technical team?
No. He just told me he's going to change the technical team, but I would have liked to have brought my own people in because. At the end of the day, you're responsible for the football club. not the running of the football club. You're responsible for the team on the field to get results. You know, it doesn't matter how you get results, it's getting results. And I knew the way to get them, especially with the new PSL season now being delayed. And we inherited an NFD team. We inherited a Swallows squad which was cut in half. Contracted players stayed, non-contracted players or out of contract players left.
Was that part of the challenges that might have then led to, you know, the events of this past week and you making that decision?
I didn't have any decisions at the football club. You know, people at the football club, the COO, the media, general manager, the chairman, they made the decisions. You know, and again, you know, the integrity of what I've done and what I've achieved in the game, you know, I respect. You know, forget the tattoos. You know, it's the medals that I've got that count. The tattoos are there just, you know, for something for me and the supporters who love it. You know, and again, you know, you always question your ability to coach every day, and I never did that. But when I kept going into work, there was numerous players, there was trialists, there was players that were out of contract that we released, or I asked to be released, that would come back the next day.
And these changes were happening continuously on a day-to-day basis, and you had no idea?
I think it stopped a couple of days ago where, you know, we decided that anybody that come to training, I had to be, you know, told first.
Yeah.
Because people would just come and say, oh, the chairman's told me to come, or the COO's told me to come. And, you know, you'd already got a plan. You prepare, you know, the night before what you're going to do, and then you get to training, and then you find out that the numbers are too many or too little. And, you know, you have to change straight away the dynamics of the training session.
Okay, so I know there's some relationships to protect, and perhaps you're not trying to go directly to it, but if you had to say what was the straw that broke the camel's back ultimately? There's been a lead-up of events, but it does seem like, looking at the announcement made on Monday, it was an abrupt decision from your end, wasn't part of your plans to leave the club. So what is it that, in that moment, you felt you couldn't work past and the only decision that you could make was to leave the club?
Simple. The technical team that were in the meeting were just totally against what I was doing. You know, when you're head coach, everyone's got to follow you. They follow your lead. However you do it, you might have a different style to Rolani, you might have a different style to Gavin Hunt. I've got my own unique style of coaching.
So did you feel that they were undermining you and not really allowing you to do what you wanted to, and perhaps not trusting that you were competent in your role?
To be honest, yeah. You know, I just felt that, you know, it was like we're all nice, you know, out on the field and in the training area. Then as soon as we get into the office, when the chairman sat there, then they raised the issues. And after the meeting, you know, I was driving home and I got a message from my chairman saying that him and the management have decided that they need 2 co-coaches to work with me, or work under me, or work above me, I don't know. And I just phoned the chairman and said, no, that's not for me, sorry. There's only no country in the world has co-coaches apart from South Africa. I think Mamelodi Sundowns is the only team that's really had a co-coach. And even then, it didn't really work. You know, Steve Compella left, now he's come back. So the dynamics are, you know, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But, you know, it's no disrespect to any other football coach, but I wasn't prepared to do that, you know. And
who were the proposed co-coaches that you were going to work with?
I don't know. I came from a football game a couple of weeks ago. We played a friendly in Angola, and the chairman wanted to have a meeting, and we went over a few things. And the next thing, he brought in an assistant coach that was going to replace Paul Maleka. And I didn't know anything about it. And I tried to find out a little bit of background to him, and not many good things were said, but I wasn't going to judge him on other opinions. I was going to judge him on what he could do for me, what he could do for the club.
And who was this assistant coach?
Unfortunately, I can't say because he's contracted to another club. But like I say, again, you know, like it's happened previously, you know, everything goes above me. And like I say, I'm responsible to the boss, you know, to the president.
Okay, so let's look ahead then. It does sound like it was. Did you feel it was a decision that you made prematurely? You're saying you didn't know who the assistant coaches were going to be. So how did you then come to the decision that you can't work with people that you don't really know who they are?
Because I've got ethics. standards. You know, I felt undermined. I felt, you know, there was an agenda. I felt that people.
But how would you make that determination, Dylan, if you don't know who those people are?
Well, I did apart from, you know, the so-called assistant that was coming in, because it employed a video analysis person. It employed, you know, a second assistant, a new fitness coach that came into, again, you know, without my knowledge. You know, I did my research, you know, and I raised my concerns. But, you know, like I say, the president's the boss. You know, he's bought the club.
Indeed.
He wants the club to succeed, and I hope he does succeed, because it's a lot of money he's paid for this. And like I said, you can't deny his passion and his enthusiasm for the game.
Quickly then, they've appointed Dance Malisela as the brand new coach. Words of advice to him then as he takes over this new role at Gallants?
All the best. All the best.
That short?
That's all I can say.
And next for Dylan Kerr then?
I don't know. You know, and you know, it's the season's, you know, been delayed by a month, so hopefully, you know, something may happen, something may not happen. I think I'm going to go to Umhlanga and enjoy the coast and go and see some friends, and you know, regroup of the situation and the things that have occurred, because, like I said, you know, football's my love. I love South African football. I've played here, coached here, I've won things here, and I'm proud of that. You know, and that's something that, you know, I want to continue. I want to continue to help the coaches in South Africa, and also the players, especially the academy, you know, and younger players.
All right, well, thank you so much, Dylan. Thank you for granting us this opportunity. I know you didn't really want to speak to the media about this, but thank you for coming here on the AM Report. So that is Dylan Kerr, then the head coach, or former head coach now, of Marumo Gallants, of course, just unpacking the events leading to his departure from the club. That's